has written an open letter to governors of the states of the southeast of Nigeria seeking their immediate action and intervention to secure his release. This is the update on the series of recent communication from Kanu's family, coming barely 1 month after they accused political elite from the region of abandoning their son to his fate. The letter, which was written by Prince Emmanuel Kanu on behalf of the family, raised the alarm that Kanu is gravely ill and should not be allowed to die in custody. Arise News analyst Daisha Bali joins us now to discuss this request by Nnamdi Kanu's family to Southeast governors, as well as how to break the logjam arising from his prolonged trial. Good afternoon, Mr. Shobali. Thank you for being here.
Good afternoon. It's a pleasure of being here.
Now, this plea it doesn't seem like it's far-fetched. He's been in detention for about 3 years. What do you make of it? Is it time for an intervention of the Southeast governors in this case?
Well, I think the call of the Southeast governors is misdirected, get me, and unfair to the governors. You see, there is I will start with a quotation from Henry V. Shakespeare, one of Shakespeare's plays. He said that if a child that is by the father sent on merchandise went and miscarried upon the seas, is it the fault of the father? This play is being made by the junior brother of Kanu. He can speak to his brother, to renounce secession. I'm sure he will work out a free man the next day. To call on the governor, so I elected representatives of Southeast, and who know what is on the ground, is turning a political matter into a sociological and family matter. It is not. It is already a legal issue. And the last ruling by the court was that the lower court should accelerate hearing on his case. He was freed before, although while in detention he fled to Kenya. He was retrieved from there and his trial went on. If his health is not okay, that is the fault of him. He should not die on account of ill health in government's custody. You get me? Because people are contesting the legality of that custody. This is in court. I don't want to comment on something in court. But you see, it is unfair, again, for them to call on the Southeast governors. Because you put them in a cul-de-sac of sorts, a no-win situation. Like I said the other time, blood is thicker than water. There is no doubt that Igbos generally have empathy, sympathy for him. But it is a path they had followed before and which they regretted. You get me? Although the governor was magnanimous enough to accommodate the leader of rebellion then, Udimogu Ojukwu. And ever since, we've moved on. Our motto is unity in diversity. And the core matter of disgruntlement in this arrangement is discrimination, not South discrimination. We all suffered it. When I started out as a civil servant, then I went into the bank. You see, in the bank, when government took over banks, they would just send northerners who never met you in the university as executive directors, whereas you are sliding up. Even my mates who remained in the public service, only one got to be from the south. You get me? Only one got to be deputy permanent secretary, as the leader is there now. So we have all suffered on account of this north-south something. But that's the essence of our unity in diversity. That's why they created so many bodies, JAMB, federal character, so that there will be some balance, and we are managing it. We are managing it. What we should adopt, I think I've said it here too, is what they are using in the US now, although to settle matters on racism. That's diversity, inclusion, and equity. If you include more people, if you reduce the gap between the rich and the poor, if you expand access to riches for more people, you can balance things out. But not to declare secession and wanting to be pardoned and then implicating governors who had no hand in the matter, putting it on their table. It's unfair to them. It's unfair to them. I know the situation the governors are being placed. Let me give you an analogy. When Dia, the deputy to Abacha, was accused of treasonable felony, they brought him to Barbas and showed them film, show implication. The Abu Jale of Ijebu, they said, well, we have seen your film, but he's our son, which means you cannot give approval for you to kill our son, and he was not killed. They want to put the governors in this same situation. What let Kanu, I say it again, renounce secession, even if he knows his health cannot take it. He doesn't need to die over the matter. The Igbos are Nigerians, whether anybody likes it or not. And sooner than later, are they going to be president in this country? So it's a matter of time. So there is no need for any rebellion. And there is no need to implicate 4 governors in a matter that should not really concern them, since it is in the court.
Right. And truly this matter does, seem to be passed from one office to the next, in these pleas of trying to get him to regain his freedom. I read an interesting commentary this morning where the writer was saying that, well, the current president should toe the way of the late President Yaradua and just put an amnesty on the issue so that we can move on from it. What are your thoughts on that way of handling cases concerning agitators, especially, with the issues of secession and so forth?
You have to treat them in context. You see, the one you mentioned, it's like, Yoruba will say, you use a thief to catch a thief. Get me? That was a form of compensation, even though it was an amnesty. See, the river areas are still suffering, you get me, from pollution and so many things involved in exploration of usage of oil. And that's the area that lays the goose that lays the golden egg. So that was done there. There was amnesty. And that was even why they were using those who are militants before as security people to secure the creeks, so that the oil can flow. You see that context? You cannot apply that context to this. Because even in the first rebellion, by Ojukwu, like I said, it was accommodated. It was accommodated and brought back and rehabilitated. And the East has moved on. Then, it's like bringing back bad memories, to say this. Because we are advancing. See our elections. You saw how Obi emerged. Even though it was at the last minute. And you see what is happening all over the country. We are learning to manage our diversity. And I don't think violent challenge of constituted authority should be condoned. Although I'm not president, the work stops on the table of the president.
So amnesty is off the charts for
Yes.
you.
Unless, of course, the president wants it.
Disclaimer.
That's it.
Mr. Shibowale, I know you rightly pointed out that it's unfair to involve the Southeast governors, making a political matter rather sociological. I believe that those were your words.
Yes.
But seeing that, for instance, the stay-at-home or sit-at-home order is one that affected the Southeast governors, there are fears that, the continued detention could actually continue to inflame tensions in the region. So do you think that they should play some kind of role, seeing that they have been affected by his detention one way or another, should play some role?
They are playing the correct role.
In this.
They are fighting it. They are asking people to come out. And they are asking people to come out. But like I said, blood is thicker than water. You see, you may not necessarily come out to say you support something. Tacitly or spoken way. You get me? People know where their sympathies lie. But it's not the sympathies that they can manifest openly. And these governors are doing their best. They are almost forcing people to come out. In some areas, they are successful. In some areas, they are not. So it is they using their constitutional clout against the formal right of the man in detention. Get me? And you see, he said the other time that if he just snapped his finger like this, that would be the end of the matter. But he doesn't need to snap his finger. Let him renounce secession today. I'm sure he'll be out of prison tomorrow.
And it's interesting that you say that, because in the video we've been playing of him, he's saying, you know, once he's released, you know, all the insecurity in the region will be gone in two minutes.
That's right.
But you know, earlier you mentioned the political cost of an amnesty. But let's look at some of the potential benefits of his release. And some people are even comparing it. I know every case is different and individual, but people are saying, well, if Sunday Igboho can be freed, and if Sowore can also be forgiven for his cases that he had withstanding, then surely there must be some benefit to extend an olive branch, since this case has been going on for so long.
I'm a Yoruba man. Ugo is not in the same class as Kanu to the Yorubas. I don't even know Ugo. You get me now? See, they are paper tigers. The same thing this other man you mentioned is an activist. Human rights activist. That is his way of life. And he knows he must have, if you do some things, you have clashes with the law. And people like that invariably have a coterie of lawyers supporting them. You get me? Because they know they are fighting for society, not for themselves. You cannot put Kanu in that category. He has an organized IPOB. You know what that acronym, what it means? It's a challenge to the legitimacy of the Nigerian government. Let him go back on that. He will be a free man. It's so simple. Or you don't think so?
I think if it was
Anyway,
that simple, we would have seen
the ball is in the court of Mr. President.